Manglish is an English-based creole spoken in Malaysia. The vocabulary of Manglish consists of words originating from English, Malay, Hokkien, Mandarin, Cantonese, Tamil, and, to a lesser extent, various other European languages, while Manglish syntax resembles southern varieties of Chinese. Also, elements of American and Australian slang have come through from imported television series. The Malaysian Manglish is sometimes known as Rojak or Bahasa Rojak, but it differs from the Rojak language by the usage of English as the base language. The East Coast versions of Manglish may differ greatly, as their accent of Malay and the jargon are particularly alien to regular Malaysian speakers. Such as shown evidently in the film Baik Punya Silak, where a character spoken in authentic Terengganu Kelantan Manglish. Manglish in the west coast of West Malaysia is very similar to Singlish. History: Manglish shares substantial linguistic similarities with Singlish in Singapore, although distinctions can be made, particularly in vocabulary. Initially, Singlish and Manglish were essentially the same language, when Singapore and Malaysia were a single political entity, Malaya. In Old Malaya, English was the language of the British administration whilst Malay was spoken as the lingua franca of the street. Thus, even the Chinese would revert to Malay when speaking to Chinese people who did not speak the same Chinese dialect. Theoretically, English as spoken in Malaysia is based on British English and called Malaysian English. British spelling is generally followed. However, the influence of American English modes of expression and slang is strong, particularly among Malaysian youth. Since 1968, Malay has been the country's sole official language. While English is widely used, many Malay words have become part of common usage in informal English or Manglish. An example is suffixing sentences with lam, as in, "Don't be so worried lam," which is usually used to present a sentence as rather light-going and not so serious. The suffix has no specific meaning. However, Chinese dialects also make abundant use of the suffix la, and there is some disagreement as to which language it was originally borrowed from. There is also a strong influence from Bahasa Malaysia, Mandarin, Cantonese, Hokkien, and Tamil, which are other major dialects and languages spoken in Malaysia. Manglish also uses some archaic British terms from the era of British colonisation. Definition: officially and on the streets. On the streets, Manglish is short for Malaysian English, a unique dialect of English spoken in Malaysia. Due to the multi-language environment, the English language in Malaysia has evolved into a creole with its own phonology, lexicon and grammar. There is no reference to the English being used in Malaysia, as Malaysian English, even from the English daily newspapers. Naturally, there are some differences of contemporary words used between Malaysia and the United Kingdom as they are continents apart and each has their own media. However, they are not so distinctly apart and established that English in Malaysia needs to be recognized as Malaysian English. The use of Manglish is discouraged at schools, where only Malaysian Standard English is taught. Malaysia continually strives to refer to authorities of British English but also accepts that American English influence is becoming increasingly apparent. Hence, Malaysia has no intention of formulating its own English or coming up with its own dictionary, unlike some English-speaking Commonwealth states like Australia. There is no such term as Malaysian English in any official context except for the ever-changing school curriculum modules and attempts to improve the command of English but without going into advanced lessons. Call it English 112, English for primary students, Malaysian English, conversational English etc. but Malaysian English is not an official dialect of English. On the streets, Manglish is just Malaysian English just as Singlish is Singaporean English. It is however, possible to speak Manglish Singlish without substituting English words with that from another language. Manglish particles. Manglish can be divided into two. Manglish 1, refers to the English of the English medium educated where English is still a true second language, being used by its speakers in everyday conversation. Manglish 2, refers to the English of the Malay medium educated where English has a definite foreign second language appearances. For some its speakers, it appears to be a foreign language, rarely used in oral communication and even less in writing and reading. Manglish 1 can be standard ME a euro with the exception of a minority of Malaysian speakers who have been educated abroad and have achieved near native speaker proficiency generally speaking. Manglish 2 can be substandard ME local dialect a euro. It has all the features of the first variety of Manglish. Besides, at the lexical level, limited lexis is used and consequently, a number of words serve a variety of functions, giving extended meanings not normally accepted in standard British English. Derive influences. Speakers of Manglish from the country's different ethnic groups tend to intersperse varying amounts of expressions or interjections from their mother tongue, be it Malay, Chinese or Indian, which, in some cases, qualifies as a form of code switching. Verbs or adjectives from other languages often have English affixes, and conversely sentences may be constructed using English words in another language's syntax. People tend to translate phrases directly from their first languages into English, for instance, on the light instead of turn on the light. Or sometimes, open the light, translated directly from Chinese. Words and grammar. Nouns capster a nosy or talkative person. Can also be used as an adjective, for example, I hate them because they are so capster. Contraction of the Malay verb kakap, to speak, plus ster. Probably originated from the Hokkien term kapsur meaning, being annoying. Maluation embarrassment, from Malay malut plus English ashen. Outstation out of town. Terror refers to someone or something being awesomely amazing or good. Mempersius weakened disgraceful, derived from Hokkien siase plus Malay. For example, Sunka mempersius weaken, or very mempersius weaken, which means very disgraceful embarrassing, chop stamp. From Malay kop meaning stamp for example. Put your company chop on the receipt. Adjectives actaonexian show-offy, ixi lancy arrogant, overconfident. Ixi possibly derived from acting up. Lancy is of Cantonese origin. Blur confused, out of it. Roughly equivalent to spacey in American slang. Sinkai casually, simply, doing things as one pleases for example. I just sinkai order a dish from the menu. Slumber relaxed, laid back. Possibly a conflation of the Malay slumber, meaning nonchalant, and the English slumber. Paisi ashamed, embarrassed embarrassing. Paishi is of Hokkien origin, for example Ikina punish la. Very paisi. Sup sup sui very easy. Sup sup sui is of Cantonese origin. Chop stamp. La la flashy, gaudy appearance. La la replaces the older derogatory term Malayan that is used to describe girls who wear heavy makeup and outstanding clothes and accessories, which usually end up being rather bad taste instead of looking sophisticated or in fashion. They also usually sport brightly colored hair. Lala can also be used to describe the things these girls are known to wear. For example, that sale girl was very la-la/the clothes are so la-la these days. The term is also used to describe guys who sports outstanding bizarre hairstyle and wear outstanding clothes and accessories resulting in bad taste as well. La-lazi, and la-la-mui is commonly used to make distinctions between the genders, with the former referring to guys and the later referring to girls. The la-las also feature rather punkish attitudes. Noob useless, lousy or incompetent. It is usable in every situation or noun, even for non-living object. For example, your car is so noob, so slow one or Marco. It contrasts with its original slang term noob, which means novice or newcomer, or somebody inexperienced in any profession or activity. Sabe very, extremely. Hokkienised for super. Used when wanting to put an emphasis on something, saying it's great or big. Whether it is in a good way or bad way, it doesn't matter as long as it is huge, for example that guy is sabe annoying low. Verbs cabot canters to run off, flee or to escape, postan reverse a vehicle, apparently from the nautical term go astern, or go stunt. Sometimes also expressed as postan balik. Jadi happened, succeeded, jalan to walk, kakay to disturb for example please don't kakay me. Corn toy to get caught, kina to get caught punished. often used like a noun. From the Malay passive verb kina. Kill to punish, cause trouble to someone, makan to eat, often refer to lunch or dinner, makan take a bet, minum to drink, on off to turn something on or off, respectively, pengsan to faint, pon to skip school play, truant apan, salmon to issue a fine, usually in relation to a traffic offence, from summons. Siam to avoid, sit. Since this is the word used for riding in a vehicle in Malay and in Chinese dialects, it is used in the same way in English, for example sit bus, to han to stand, to bear. From Malay tuhan, to endure, to withstand. Tumpanging, riding in someone else's vehicle or lodging at someone else's house, from the Malay verb tumpang plus ing, mamak/mamak stall. From the term mamak, it is used to refer to Indian Muslim restaurants in Malaysia. Example, let's go eat at a mamak lab. Yam ka, socializing with friends, usually in mamak stalls, but other places also apply. Generally identifies with go have a drink. Derived from the yam ka used in Cantonese. Lempang, literally bash, it usually refers to a slap. Example, he can lempang your face. Any Malay word, plus in doing a certain action, cow cow/cow cow/cow cow/co cow, used to stress a personal satisfaction on a specific action specified before. The stress can be due to shock, anger, pain, or pleasure. Example, he got it cow cow. Equals exclamations equals, alamak, exclamation of surprise or shock. From the Malay exclamation alamak, we exclamation when conversing to a close male friend. Best siok indicates the object as superlatively good. Siok is from the Hokkien word for pleasure, Daigon mampas seigg pokai / generic exclamations to indicate trouble, used like the English dead, or dead end serias, usually pronounced as its Cantonese equivalent, die. Siwach thalamak, I say, exclamation of amazement, marvel. Jinjang, a term to explain one's appearance, being out of fashion or old-fashioned. Sometimes it is used to refer to people who act rudely or uncivilized in public. Karnasa, like shit in Hokkien, wale, also an exclamation of amazement similar to Korean hul, usually Chinese, gilua. Exclamation of shock or amazement. Also from the Malay word hila, which means mad or crazy. Azit. Expression of mild unbelief, watered a rhetorical question. Podawa. From Tamil equivalent to the American phrase, get out. When expressing disbelief, few utter praise towards a beautiful lady, apa then. /abutan? Combination of Malay apa, meaning, what in English, and the word then. It is also equivalent to simply saying obviously. Usually used as sarcastic response to an obvious observation or question. Equals grammar equals, subject plus predicate, is it? This is often used as a question. It doesn't refer to the subject, but rather to the entire preceding clause. This is comparable to the French phrase "ne sais pas," and the German usage of oder equals phrases equals, open collar, pocket no dollar, expression reflecting linkage between extravagant appearance and persona, and illusion of wealth. The la word, the ubiquitous word la, used at the end of a sentence, can also be described as a particle that simultaneously asserts a position and entices solidarity. Note that la is often written after a comma for clarity, but there is never a pause before it. This is because in the original Malay, la is appended to the end of the word and is not a separate word by itself. In Malay, la is used to change a verb into a command or to soften its tone, particularly when usage of the verb may seem impolite. For example, to drink is minum, but here, drink is minum la. Similarly, la is frequently used with imperatives in Singlish, such as the command, drink, la. La also occurs frequently with ya, and no, resulting in a less brusque sound, thus facilitating the flow of conversation. This form is more used by Chinese in Malaysia. La is often used with brusque, short, negative responses, don't have, la. Don't know already, la. La is also used for reassurance, don't worry, he can do it one la, don't worry, he can get it done. It's okay la, it's alright. La can also be used to emphasize items in a spoken list, appearing after each item in the list but is not commonly used in this context. They got sal nasi lemak la, roti kanai la, chapati la. Everything got la. Although la can appear nearly anywhere, it cannot appear with a yes-no question. Another particle should be used instead. For example, where you are. The Chinese influence in Manglish, however, can be seen among other races in Malaysia, especially when conversing with Chinese-speaking people. This principle can be generally applied to all forms of non-standard English spoken in Malaysia. It might have Tamil origin. La is still used widely in southern Tamil Nadu in the same manner. Tamil is said to be more pure in this region than northern Tamil Nadu and had ancient trade link with Southeast Asia. 1. May is also a common ubiquitous word that used at the end of a question. It is usually used with a sense of confidence in his or her own statement but the hint of doubt towards the other person. For example, I like her, can not marry? Many of these terms are spoken by a very wide range of Singaporeans, Malaysians and Chinese locals. What, the particle what, t, also spelled what, is used to remind or contradict the listener, especially when strengthening another assertion that follows from the current one. Miscellaneous, there is / there are, and has / of are both expressed using got, so that sentences can be translated in either way back into British/American English. This is equivalent to the Chinese eo permiligu, got question. Is there a question? / do you have a question? Yesterday East Coast Park got so many people. There were so many people at East Coast Park yesterday. / East Coast Park had so many people there yesterday. This bus got aircon or not? Is there air conditioning on this bus? / does this bus have air conditioning? Where got? Lit. Where is there, this? Also more loosely, what are you talking about? Or where did you get that idea? Generic response to any accusation. Derived from Malay sentence mana ada and also from Chinese sentence io permil where, io permil, got. Can is used extensively as both a question particle and an answer particle. The negative is cannot, gimme la, ok or not. Can. Can. Cannot. Manglish versus Singlish. The difference between Manglish and Singlish is very subtle and can oftentimes be hard to distinguish even among the locals. However, Manglish is markedly more influenced by the Malay language, with the majority population in Malaysia being the ethnic Malays. While Singlish is more influenced by Hokkien dialect or Mandarin Chinese, with the majority population being the ethnic Chinese. For example, a might be more often used in Manglish. While Singlish more frequently uses words like a euro, euro. However, referring the aforementioned example, kina is also used in Singlish and liao in Manglish, only to a less extent. This shows the huge influences on these two languages on each other as well. There is virtually no difference between the two when heard from foreigners' ears. Other usage. The word Manglish is also used to describe the English spoken by Malayalam speakers from the Kerala state in India having a Malayalam accent, mainly by those who have studied in Malayalam medium schools. This is also propagated by Malayalam media. Manglish is also the name of an interactive cartoon feature in the Mainichi Daily News, Japan's major English-language online newspaper. Manga, or Japanese comics, are displayed on the website in their original format, but English translations of the Japanese characters can be seen by mousing over the speech balloons. See also Malaysian English, British and Malaysian English differences, Singlish. External links, Common Lan, Tok Manglish OK? Manglish, for and against, should Malaysians speak Manglish or proper English? What is wrong with the Malayali English? Malayali's English, Malayali pronunciation errors. Zimmer, Benjamin, Malaysia cracks down on salad language. Language log. References